all engaged in, because there's an emphasis in the message of God to the people. There is. And even the lesser is not something that we're not to pay attention to. It's just that it's not more attention. And that's what we're doing. That's why the outer man goes to try to do something that only the inner man can do. And there's inner man rules of operation or living out your life. And that has to be shared. And that has to be the preeminent. The other way is the ritual, is the religious approach. And I just simply refuse to get in alignment with that in my mind. The behavior is a common sense behavior. Everybody learned right and wrong or good and bad when they was growing up. That ain't nothing like your moral standard is so, we need to be trained in that. So our mind knows the difference of right to wrong. That's not something that that's not something that but moreover, that's not going to undermine an alignment with the spiritual truth. The spiritual truth will override that. That's how Jesus was able to come and override sin. Because he didn't come, even though he came in the flesh, he wasn't disconnected from the spiritual empowerment of who God is. And when we're reconnected, that's what we got. And so it has a potency over the outer issues of life. Now, there's some standards of God, and it's a way of thinking. Just like Jesus had his mind set and fixed to be in agreement with God. Then he could hear from heaven on heaven, just like he says. If in somebody told them in the Old Testament, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways. That didn't mean they was just going to stop doing that. That's going to no longer be what they want to do. They now want to turn towards his ways. His ways going to bring them up higher. Because it's in the midst of these situations of life that God gets to demonstrate himself mighty. It's not apart from them. Apart from them is an alignment with him, which is what he's really looking at. Is your face turned towards me or towards all this? Because see, when you're minding that, you can't hear that. And if you can't hear, how you going to obey? Because number one, you can close your eyes, because if you don't look at the things which you're seeing, you got your mind turned away from that. It's just like walking by faith and not by sight. It's like you got X-ray vision. When you're looking at that, you look right through it. You don't even see that. You see what the Father is saying. It's this transformation process that's going on by the renewing of your mind. So the things in this world's realm no longer are the supremeness. You didn't have to get out of the world. You didn't have to not breathe the polluted air or some of the things in this world. You have to have the preeminence of who he is genuinely in your heart, because then you can obey. Because you're not going to obey. There's going to be some things that you're going to have to deal with that, irregardless, that's just the way it is. You're dealing with that. Like somebody, this is what I always talk about. Somebody got to say something about when they had, some kind of ailment. And God don't want you in no ailment. Or what they call it, sickness or something. They called it like that. Or at dis-ease. God wants you at ease. Peace. Like that. So now, how do you account for that? It's the same thing. Your mind is not stayed on that. So I thank God that we have a made-up mind, and a made-up mind cannot be stopped.
Amen.